yeah, hold up. This isn't a baby ABC lesson. This is a real life classroom lesson just for you. Take 5 minutes, just 5 minutes to learn a new tech tip.
Hi, this is Linda Shriver, and this week, G is for Gmail. Gmail can serve as the hub of all things communication in Google Land. A lot of students don't use Gmail as much, but when they do pop into it to check on it, they'll find that almost every single transaction between their teacher and Google Classroom all dumps into their Gmail. So that can be great, and that can be certainly full of yuck and junk. So stay tuned. In 5 minutes, I will show you how to turn your Gmail account from this to this. Google actually gives you the product of Gmail, actually pretty plain and basic. If you know some very basic tips, you can actually make your Gmail work for you. Instead of it becoming kind of clutter looking like this does here, you can actually separate it and make it so that it makes a little bit more sense and put Google to work for you. Google can actually be your assistant in Gmail. So, educators, parents, and students, hang with me on this next one. Let me go ahead and kind of give you an insight. Google, although extremely productive and super helpful, actually provides you a tool that is very basic to begin with. It's what you do with it and what you learn about the settings that I'm going to show you in 5 minutes that will really help you. So, let's find settings first in the top right corner, the cog that's up there. Just click on that. And this reveals several basic settings. You can actually go deeper into see all settings. That is a great bit of homework for all of you, but will not, it'll be for another video. But the basics of Google settings are right here. So let's talk about it. The way it looks right now, I've got lots of different assignments that came in from my Google Classroom. I've got lots, could be potentially sales flyers and things that I just don't really care much about. There are also some attachments here that you can tell this person has sent attachments. So let's go ahead and take a look at the settings that it does open up. There is the ability to actually, it's set on default, which gives you the ability to kind of see your attachments if people show you attachments, but you might not like that necessarily or want that. You can just actually click on comfortable, and that's just all those pieces, pretty fairly spaced. Compact gives you scrunched up. Some people like that for saving on real estate, I call it, within your Gmail. But I actually pretty much stick to the default. Themes is where I'm going to lose you probably, but if I promise to move quickly through this video, please promise me that you won't get lost in theme land. So themes are to make it more colorful. I guess it's like moving into a house and hanging your wallpaper. So you click on view all and you have the ability to have all kinds. Google gives you plain solids. They give you the default one, and then they give you crazy ones. These are beautiful pictures. They are gorgeous. I love them. I applaud anyone who tries them. They're wonderful. For me, I like to have a very clean background. I like to have things that are easier to read. Even some of these aren't so bad. Some that are plain. When you get into crazy pictures, sometimes they can be a little bit more distracting, but you also have the ability to put your own photograph in there. So let's go ahead and we'll just pick one real quick. And I'll hit save. See, already you got a little life there. So we're going to go back up to settings. And we've done the first two. So let's go to the next one. The next one's super important because you will either love it or you will hate it, and that is your inbox type. I absolutely love, I keep it on default, but I absolutely love to customize it. And by that, what I mean is you can click customize and it opens up these tabs for you. Tabs will appear. Once I hit save, tabs will appear right along the top row here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to go ahead and turn them all on. But let me tell you about them as they're on. As you scroll over them, it gives you examples of what I'm talking about. So in primary, that is when someone you know has sent you an email. Primary is super important. It's your basic email. It's the good stuff. Social is all your social media stuff. Any social, could be chats might go in there, things that are more social in nature. And those honestly don't have a whole lot in there. Promotions are great to have because they weed out all your different offers and your merchants and your sales stuff and coupons. And that's great to have. It won't go anywhere. It's just going to go file it away for you. Updates is interesting. Once I push the save button, you'll see what I'm talking about. Updates holds all your Google Classroom correspondence back and forth from your teacher. It is beautiful. It gets it out of your main primary email. So you can actually concentrate on primary, and you can pretty much get updates. All those updates you also get through Google Classroom. And then forums are large if your principal sends something out, or if the organization or department that you work for sends all teachers, all educators, all then you'll get it in forums. So the problem with this, the reason people love it and they absolutely hate it at the same time, is you have to train your brain to work differently. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And it's going to give me a second. Well, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It has already cleaned up. Now don't fret, because it just means that they put it behind updates, promotions, social, and forums. So you see the majority of the things that were bottlenecking up my email was things that were under updates. And I'm going to tell you now what they are. Classroom assignments. Almost all of these are all classroom assignments. And that just can be a headache if you're really trying to use your Google Mail the right way. So then you can still see the attachments are there. This is just, to me, this is the best way. If you do not like it, click on this and go back to inbox. Click on, it's on default anyways, click on customize and uncheck these and hit save again. Now let's go back. Remember I said you'd love it or you'd hate it? You'll love it because it cleans out a lot of stuff for you. You really have to train your brain to not only answer email and look at your email box this way, you also have to look horizontally as well. So you have to kind of train yourself to kind of continue. If you're looking for something, you'll have to remember, oh yeah, it's over in updates. But remember, what Google does so well is they have the search engine up here. So you can do that. So that's the basics of that particular piece. Let's go on down to what I think is one of the prettiest ways to view it. And you have the ability to have a reading pane. You can have a no split, which is this right here, but you can also have a split where it's right of the inbox. And I'll show you what that looks like. That means that if I'm in primary and I want to click on this and see what this particular person is showing me, I can actually read their email that way. It's just giving me a reading pane. Love it, love it. So I usually keep it on reading pane. You can also go below, which puts it down below. I usually tend to like the right of the box. And then the final thing is totally preference. And I will keep it clicked on and show you what I'm talking about. So if I'm in primary and I am looking at this email that's gone back and forth from me to a student, so it's gone back and forth 4 times. If I click on that, it shows all 4 of those conversations back and forth, back and forth. I don't have to scroll all the way through it. That's called conversation view. I prefer, believe it or not, to have conversation view off. What it does is it helps me to look for those emails better when I'm looking for them. So now it's taken all of those emails and kind of separated them there. So yes, it looks like it's more emails, but I can actually find, oh yeah, that's when I replied to her. Not everybody likes that. I get that. It also does give you the arrow to show that this is when you replied, that you have already replied to that person. So again, what I've taught you is just simple shortcuts. If you do not like any of the things I've taught you, please feel free to go back and check it and add it back. Well, I certainly hope that was a productive 5 minutes, plus maybe a minute or 2. Thank you for joining us. And remember, G is for Gmail.